I'm not here to argue with people about veganism. I'm here to live my truth.
We didn't figure it all out, and we do struggle, and we're also just humans. After we spoke last time about our stories, how we became vegans, there was a new topic theme that popped up that we want to talk about today, and it is how to navigate the fact that we are vegans in mostly non-vegan world, and what are our ways that we do it, and how we see other people doing it, and what are the tips and tricks, and just how to make it easier for you guys. And also maybe you have some tips that we didn't cover, and let's just share and let's expand the knowledge so that it becomes easier for everybody, basically. So that's our topic today. And Sal, would you like to open the conversation?
Sure, I'd love to. I was thinking about this last night and this morning I was thinking, what when you said tips and tricks, what are my tips and tricks? And yeah, I guess one of the things I wanted to start with is like just the acknowledgement, which I did share in the last a little bit of that in the last time we spoke. The acknowledgement that it takes courage to be vegan and to stand up and speak in a world that's largely non-vegan, and that it's a bit of a journey that you go through with your self-expression around veganism, and how comfortable you feel in different spaces will vary, and so one of my tips and tricks for going out is to ring beforehand the restaurant and ask them what they have, so that you know what they have, so that you don't have to be sitting at the table with 10 people all waiting for you, looking at you if you feel nervous. You can ring in advance and actually find out what the menu is and what they can offer you, especially if you go online and have a look at the menu and you can't see anything. It's always good to ring in advance in those places, because then often they can prepare something for you in advance if you know, or if they know that you're coming. So that's just something I didn't want to forget that one,
Mhm.
because it's a good one, and it's one that we might overlook because we haven't thought of it before. So that's one of my first tips and tricks that I wanted to share with you today.
That's very good. I never did that.
Mm.
So it's a really good one. Thank you for sharing. I guess that maybe I would like to share a little vulnerable piece here.
Sure.
Um, so it's been already 14 years, and at the beginning I was very, like motivated, and I really did go to the restaurants with people with so many more ways of how I'm prepared, which I can share soon. But what happened throughout these years is that I maybe lost just like willpower and desire to really prepare my going out to the restaurants with my friends or family. So I found myself often in the moments when I just said whatever, and then I would find myself, as you were sharing, with just lettuce and like thrown maybe three, four pieces of whatever, of maybe cucumbers or tomatoes. For me, the intention was always go out and connect with the people, not so much eating. But then I regret every time when I do so, because they're all enjoying their meals. And then I'm like sitting with my meal and thinking maybe I just could have a drink. But then at the same time, I wouldn't share the moment of eating with people, which is very important and which is part of the connection why we went out anyways. So I was struggling, let's say, in the last few years with that. And I think I'm inspired now by our conversation today, and also with what we shared earlier, you and me privately, to somehow take care of myself more.
Mm.
Because if I'm in the space where I'm not happy with my plastic, boring lettuce pieces, then this energy is just in the room and it's not nice. I could go into different ways from here, but I just felt that I really want to
Mm,
share this piece because I also would like people to know that we didn't figure it all out and we do struggle and we're also just humans, but there are always ways to encourage each other and change
mm,
things.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Mm,
Thank you for listening. And maybe I just wanted to share the beginning, how I navigated restaurant
hmm
moments with success, and especially while I was raw vegan, because
mm,
being raw vegan is even more extreme. So, what was my safe way was cabbage, because cabbage is, by its taste, interesting no matter what's the source of the cabbage. So I would just order cabbage salad without any seasoning. And I just ask for a good quality olive oil. And I would bring with myself avocado and crackers, or if I had some raw bread, then I would bring bread and some kind of maybe onion. I didn't bring garlic, but onions, fresh onions also, or spring onions were always interesting, and a little bit of nutritional yeast. So I would have my feast with basically cabbage salad in the restaurant. So yeah, that's my go-to. And also, when we struggle, and maybe that's also a question for you, when we struggle with the response of the waiter or the restaurant itself, how they don't care so much, they don't understand, which I'm okay with. I then tend to say that doctor said that I should eat this way. So, and it is very important to understand the wording. So I never say that I have a certain condition, because I really know that we are creating with our words, our conditions, our we are basically manifesting all the time. So I'm very aware of my words. And if I say the doctor says, it is true actually. There are so many doctors in the world who say that we should eat this way. So I just use it as a way of telling people that it's really very important for me to eat like this. And then it's so interesting how the society is working, that they are respecting other people's, let's say, health issues more than free will, than
mm,
than than choice. But yeah, that's just my observation of
mm.
that. Do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, going back to what I said at the start, I tend to look places up before I go. So I prefer to do 10 minutes of research than to go somewhere and not be able to eat much. But if I get in the situation when I'm traveling or randomly, if we decide to go somewhere and I'm in a different place, um, I tend to use humor because that's my way. To explain, I'm vegan, I don't eat any animal products, and then I see the kind of look on their face as they're trying to process what that is. And so I'll start saying things like, it's like no milk, no cheese, no butter. Like I'll sort of do it in a playful way. And I think that leads really well into one of the things that we wanted to talk about around energy and the way that we show up. Because if we show up in a way where we're kind of frustrated or we have that negative energy around it, then, it just passes that to the next person. And so the way that we hold ourselves in that, I think, is really important. And, me and you are naturally playful people. So it's an easy pathway for us to be like that. It may not be like that for everybody, but, I feel like the more playful and the more joyful you can be about, what we're choosing here, then the more relaxed other people are about it and the more open they are about the discussion. And so I tend to not have issues anymore going out. I used to when I wasn't as confident and when I didn't feel like I could keep saying, yeah, but does it have, because sometimes there's foods that I know have things like fish sauce in it or there's a bit of egg in it and I know that and I feel like when people are too quick to say, yeah, 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 that's vegan, then I'm always like, oh, hang on, are you sure that's vegan? Does it have butter in it? Does it have milk in it? Oh yeah, no, but it's got egg in it. And I'm like, ah, can't have egg, you know. And so I feel like sometimes, you know, people will say things are vegan when they're not really, and I know that from after all these years. And so it's like going into that next step of like confirming can sometimes, like you were saying, make you feel like you're being too much. But for me, I think if I hold that energy of playfulness and, you know, I'm there as a customer. I'm paying like anyone else, and often I'm paying more because I'll get this the salad, the chicken salad with no chicken, but I'm still paying. And so that's a thing. And so yeah, I feel like the energy that we hold ourselves with has a lot to do with how the space ends up responding to us. And I'll give a good example. When I used to go to weddings or functions and it was catered for, and so everyone has meat, and then I have vegan. At the start, people will like question me a lot about veganism and, you know, give me weird looks or whatever. Whereas now people like to tell me that they don't eat meat very much. Oh, my meal looks really good. Oh, why can't I have your meal? I'm like, it's the vegan meal. Like, I want the vegan meal, you know. And I know people who actually order the vegan meal when they go to conferences and things like that because the meal is healthier. And so I feel like part of it is the shift in the collective energy around veganism. There is a more global understanding of it, but also I think it's the way that we hold ourselves that I'm not being confrontational in my veganism. You know, I'm
Yeah.
being peace because, and we've talked about this and we talked about talking about this today, the energy of peace. That's why we're vegan, because we believe in peace and we believe in nonviolence and we believe in kindness and compassion. And so I try to extend that to every person that I'm faced with when I'm dealing with anything in life, but especially when I'm dealing with veganism and food. And I want to like present myself with the same energy that correlates with the reason why I'm vegan.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%.
Mm.
And I found myself also often in spaces where there is a group of people. For example, I used to sail with a group of people a lot, and I was also part of the crew. And when they would, for example, catch a fish or have on a beautiful Greek island, they are obsessed by finding lamb and having lamb for dinner, and then talking about the lamb and it was a community where they were always saying a lot of gratitude to the animal, so it was very conscious. Still I didn't feel comfortable and I felt a lot of sadness in me. The way how I reacted was that I would just withdraw from the table and go into my cabin and cry. But I allowed myself this space to really express how I feel, but I didn't want to kind of like push it to other people because it is their choice. And I believe that we are all allowed to make our choices, and then just staying in this energy of really protecting our choices. And then when the time is right, or not, maybe not in this lifetime, people will reach out and say, "Oh, I understand now how you felt," or something in me shifted, or I also didn't feel right, but I still did it, and I don't know how to stop this process, which was happening in these occasions. And this is a beautiful way of then opening the whole topic for people. And
Mm.
this is how I feel from my experience, and this is only my experience, how they can change their choices much quicker than when it is really imposed, we say, right?
Mm.
To,
Mm.
and I don't want to say that other ways are not good, but it's just not my way.
Mm. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I think, you know, that's such a important lesson for us as well to accept that other people are making their own choices regardless of us. And, you know, there's lots of different people on the vegan spectrum of how they express their veganism and how they manage that energy. And I suppose for me, I think it's really important for my peace to be operating from that place of peace. And I found that people are more responsive to me when I'm more gentle. And
Mm,
that's just the world that I'm in and the people that I'm around, is that if I try to express anything in a way that's a bit more aggressive or a bit more pointing the finger, I find that they almost dig their heels in even more. And so my way is to be an example and to be an example of being peaceful and gentle, and people respond to that better, in my opinion. I just had this funny thought come up actually. I remember when I first became vegan, because people used to ask me all the time, where do you get your vitamin B and where do you get your protein? And I couldn't remember, which I still can't, all the things about all the vitamins and which foods, because I don't retain it. I just eat a very balanced diet and know that I get everything I need. But because I felt like I had to answer it, I made a key ring, and on the key ring, it had all of these laminated plastic little tags with the name of the vitamins and the vegetables or nuts and seeds that I eat to get that. So that if anyone asked me, I'd just hand them that and go, here you go, have a look at this. Because I felt like I had to actually justify it, whereas now I don't feel like I have to justify it. And sometimes people will say to me, it happens a lot in groups of people, like, how come you became vegan when we're just about to eat dinner? And I'm just like, it's a big conversation. I'm in the spotlight about to eat my dinner, and now I've got to tell you my vegan story. And so sometimes I'll say, it's because of animal cruelty, and the table will just go silent, you know. Sometimes I'll tell, more about the story and whatever, but sometimes I'll just say, that's a really interesting question. I'm wondering how come you're not?
mm.
And it's just
And what do you
silence.
think?
Because I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be confrontational. I'm just like, you're asking me a question and I'm curious back. How come you're actually not?
Mm.
So I guess the point is we get to choose. We get to choose how we respond, and we get to choose the energy that we do it. And sometimes people can be really full on. And sometimes it is about going, look, I actually don't want to have that conversation right now. It's
Yeah.
okay to have those boundaries compassionately. I always talk about compassionate boundaries where there's compassion for me and compassion for you. I'm not here to argue with people about veganism as much as many people would like me to argue with them. I'm actually not here to argue about it. I'm here to
Mm.
live my truth. And, this space is, something that we're creating for people who want to live that truth too, or people who are curious about that truth. But I'm not here to argue with people about veganism. And I think as long as you don't enter into it, then there's no way for that energy to continue to you. It's our choice whether we lean into that energy or whether we lean out of it. And I definitely lean out of it and have distance around me for my own protection.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I also noticed that it is happening less and less,
Mm,
and I couldn't agree more that it is actually the shift in our inner decision on, or like us being 100% the way we are. And
mm,
I sometimes don't even label myself as vegan or plant-based person, because it became my life, and
mm,
it's not even a choice anymore, or I don't even need to remind myself. So I think that with that presence in our system, it just doesn't come as so much questioning at the beginning, as I also had, because
mm,
people were also putting all kinds of uncomfortable comments or questions. And it really, really happens so rarely for a very
mm,
long time now, many
mm.
years now, that people just accept me the way I am. And I'm sure that it comes from ourselves accepting us as we are, as something normal, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Mm. Yeah, and this idea of labeling is so interesting, and identity. You know what popped into this is so random. You know what popped into my head when you were sharing about how sometimes you don't identify because it's just like who you are.
Yeah.
It reminded me of when I was in Brazil. I was hanging out with all these Irish people, and we're talking about where we're going to go that night. And someone said, let's go to an Irish pub. And then this Irish girl turned around and said, in Ireland, we don't call them Irish pubs, we just call them pubs. That's what that reminded me of, which I know is completely random, but that's.
Yeah, I love that.
Is there anything before we finish up that you think we haven't covered in this topic?
Yes,
And, we can obviously talk about this ongoingly,
talk
but is there
about it.
anything
Yeah,
else that
yeah,
you think
yeah.
is important for us to talk about?
Yes, I would also like to share social moments. when it's not a restaurant, but for example, anniversary or someone's birthday, when friends and family gather. And I'm not hosting it, I'm going somewhere. It happens so many times that I bring something with me so that A, I'm sure that I have something to eat, and B, because it's nice to bring something. People still are talking about some of my meals after years and years, and they remember
Wow.
me for these meals because they never tasted something like this. And
Mm,
it's for them, they are actually craving for meals that are not so conventional, because
mm,
people who are meat eaters are also tired of, like having, I don't know, cheese and ham and whatever is served, or like a big plate of meat, and pommes, or or these kinds of things, where they see something colorful and just fresh and nourishing, they just want to go there.
mm,
So also, I believe the third good thing about bringing things with us is also educating people and making small steps of change. For example, I just want to say, one of the meals that I prepared just for you to be able to visualize it.
Before you say it though, can I just say any food that you talk about when we're talking,
Yeah,
you have to make it for me when I see you. Deal?
all good.
Shake hands
Yeah,
on it.
still shake hand. So it was sushi made with, I need to translate it. So I think parnip, I
Parsnip,
think
maybe?
parsnip. Yeah,
Mm.
parsnip in English. Yeah, and with all other beautiful ingredients. But that was, instead of putting the rice, I've put the
Mm.
parsnip, I think. So everybody just keep talking about them. Or when I make rice spring rolls, rice paper, and then we have a beautiful dip made with peanut sauce and tamari and a little bit of garlic and a little bit of lemon, squeeze of lemon. So people just get crazy about those meals. So it's, yeah, a beautiful way to do it.
Making me hungry now.
I know, I'm also hungry a little bit. And there was also one more thing that came to my mind while you were sharing, and it's the question of the family, how to navigate this in the family. Maybe we can leave it for a separate topic. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's a really good one to talk about on its own because I think it's a big one and it opens up a lot of stuff for people. So I think it would be worth doing a
Yeah,
whole session on that. That's a really good topic. Mm.
good. I'm so happy that we have a topic already for the
I
next.
know, you're an ideas woman. You just keep coming up with the next topic. It's great.
I love this.
It's just flowing. Oh, that
Yeah.
was a great conversation. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
And yeah, let's hear what people have to say from their own experience, because
Yeah.
we are talking to other people and we do want to create community here and support each other, inspire each other.
Yeah, we really invite you to comment and to start conversations and, to email us your stories and share as much as you want to share because we're really hoping to create a community here and we're going to be creating opportunities to connect more and more. So this is the first step. By commenting and telling us or even asking us questions, then we know who's watching and we can interact with you too. So you are most welcome to comment and share whatever it is that you wish to share. Some tips and tricks, perhaps.
Yay! Sending much love to everyone and to you, Sal.
From my heart to yours, thank you. So, as we gather on this beautiful full moon tonight, and I know that it's not your full moon quite yet, it's your morning. But as we gather on this beautiful full moon, I want to send really beautiful energy through that cords that we created, that purple and that green cord between us, between our hearts, and send some gratitude for this beautiful space that we're creating together and send lots of love and friendship and joy into your heart. And as I'm imagining that energy going into your heart, I can see that your beautiful heart is full of so much pure love and so much inspiration. And I'm really grateful for the way that you empower women and you empower me. And I want to say thank you. And I want to give lots of gratitude to this beautiful earth for sustaining us as we connect with each other across the world. And I want to bring lots of playfulness and laughter and joy into our session today.
Hmm. Thank you so much. I am also very grateful for you and our connection and how many times you supported me throughout this year, last year, and how much generosity your heart holds, and the amount of ease that you're doing it and holding space for me and for other people and bringing this very grounded, solid, strong sense of safety is something that I didn't see often in my life. So thank you for creating these spaces for other people and for me. Mm, That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thor. That's so beautiful. Thank you. Ah, wow.
So
What a
after
way to
we
start.
cry first from gratitude and love and
I feel like there's just this big glowing energy around us.
yeah.
In soul expansion.
And since we are on different sides of the planet, like we definitely put the whole planet and all the people inside that big, big, big heart.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we send that to anyone watching into their hearts.
Mm, yeah,
Beautiful. Shall we get started?
that's it.